What's up guys, Wait here, and the gameplay you are watching here is minus 30 ultimate. We are here using the only budget force strand warlock build in the game with the new Praxic blade lightsaber, and I think it's the only build in the game right now that gives you the closest feeling of the force with lightsaber. And Praxic blade is really, I think, one of the strongest weapon right now in the game. It has so much utility, and the it has so much fun element in it that offers you a, a really large variety of gameplay. So with this build, you are suspending and controlling everything while healing yourself. We are using here the new strand Warlock exotic. So let's talk about the build. So the exotic we are using here is Damuse Fusion, the Warlock exotic helmet, and the exotic perk states that when Strand Super is equipped, the Healing Rift or Empowering Rift, of course you will be using Healing Rift here, will suspend combatants and it will deal overtime damage to them, and when you defeat suspended combatants you receive an immoderate amount of healing. So we are pairing this with the Praxic blade. So there we go. So as you can see that, let me damage myself here. So as I suspend the combatant, you can see I am constantly healing. I'm not standing in my healing rift. So really good perk with this build. And when you defeat them with our fragments, you also retrieve class ability energy. So let's talk about the fragments we are using here are Thread of Wisdom, Thread of Mind, Thread of Generation, Thread of Fury, and Thread of Continuity. These are the must-have fragments. You can switch with Thread of Fury with Thread of Warding if you want woven mail on or pickup. So but I think this one is really good to get back your arcane needles, because we are using here VFOG, which is really important with this build. Your melee plays here a lot, and we are also using the armor charges here to bring our melee to 95 here with two of these melee fonts. And as you can see in the gameplay, we just use our melee, and when we use the tangle, it gives us melee energy. So the more combatant it hits, the more energy you will get for your melee charges. So that's why it is really important. The gameplay loop is simple. When engaging in fight, first go in VFOC, and when try to only use your first charge and then suspend everything and start using your sword here. So this really feels like force. You are choking enemies, and this thing is absolutely fun to use on Strand Warlock. So with Praxic blade, the build variety is a lot. We will be talking about so many builds which are going to use Praxic blade. I hope it is the most favorite weapon of everyone now. I mean, at least for 70% of Destiny population right now really likes it. So I will make more builds with this thing. And you can use the bolt charge system with Getaway Artist on Arc Warlock to be literally a Thunder God. So on Solar subclass, you can literally ignite everything in the room with the Scorch aspect of this build. So this build has this sword has a lot of variety that you can pair with any build. So the other two weapons doesn't matter that much. Use any utility weapons like jolting feedback or some add clear weapons you can use, but you are using Praxic blade all the time, so you don't really need anything else. on your aspects, you are using Mindspun Invocation along with the VVOC. And with Mindspun Invocation, when you consume your Shackle Grenade, you suspend everything and they will heal you ultimately. So really good pairing for this build. It is full control, Warlock, Strand build. And let's talk about the armor. As I told you before, Renegade tech sec is really important set for each class. So I have it on my Warlock and Titan. I'm not sure about the Hunter that I have it to pair it with Praxic Blade. So the stats you are using here should be class, grenade, and melee. These are three are the most important stat with this build, and then your weapons. So on our helmet, we are using one harmonic siphon for our rocket or any strand weapon in our third column, and special ammo finder for ammo. For the Praxic blade, kinetic siphon, we are using Praxic blade only, so it will produce a lot of orbs. And on your hands, you should be using melee font, because here you can see I have 55 melee, but when I use two melee fonts, it goes straight up to 95. So you really need melee with this build to play aggressively. If you do not have approximately like 90, 95, 100 melee, this affects your build a lot. So again, the melee is really important with this build to go into VVOC, because when you enter VVOC, you also gain woven mail when you come out of it. So really important aspect of this build is your melee energy, which should be 100. And the grenade is really important to activate Mindspun invocation and your class abilities. Of course, this build depends on your class ability. So on your chest, you should be using 3 resistance mod. You can use anything here. And on your boots, use kinetic scavenger for your sword, one innervation, or you can use one isolation mod, and with kinetic weapon surge for your Praxic blade. And on your boots, you should be using time dilation along with 2 class fonts. So when you activate your class ability near the targets, it gives you a 30 to 40 HP overshield, because we are using here 106 class. So that overshield help us tank some of the target damage when we immediately use near the combatants. So it is really important to have like 130, 140 class with the melee fonts. So this is it. This is the build, and this is the drip I was using. I wish it was the gloves, the new exotic, but it is helmet. So sadly, I cannot be Kylo Ren. So it is budget Kylo Ren anyways. So on our artifact perk, we are using kinetic rupture. You can use sword storm combo, but I did not use it just because it affects the sound of your sword, so you can barely hear your lightsaber when you are using this combo. So it's just the sound effect that I don't like of this sword storm combo with Praxic blade, but you can definitely use it. It is really beneficial for the damage. And the other perks are armor smith, counter energy, and the most important perk is kinetic synthesis, with which you can generate special ammo for your Praxic blade and use unstoppable bow and the other thing you want here. So this is it. This is the build. I hope you enjoy the ultimate gameplay. And the nightfalls are here. I think they will start from Tuesday. So we will be using in fire teams, the other builds. We have so much to cover with only Praxic blade. Oh, I forgot about the perks you need to use on this blade are defensive form and forceful blade 3 for the damage I'm using here, and you need to use here the refraction core. So whenever you reflect the damage from the sword, it severs the target, so they deal like 40% less damage to you. Really important. And hyperblade is the most important perk here. If you do not want to use defensive form, you can also use balanced form. It also triggers health regeneration, so It is really your choice. I prefer defensive form for Warlock because it's really important for this build. So have a nice day, Warlocks and Titans. So GG's.
Alright, Guardian. This is a smash and grab. Smash some hive, grab a chunk of submind.
And live to tell the tale.
word if you haven't seen these on this plan. For now, but we'll have a one line up and running soon. If anyone can help me receive a eight Praxic. At the end, I'll get that photo again. Vault security re-up. You know what to do, Guardian. You're right, Mark. That scorn's definitely trying to corrupt some mind and some weird copy out files. Luckily, it looks like Malahayaki's rewriting itself with repair protocols every time we clear the bunker.
I hate Warlock jump.
Suspect the witness
Fuck!
reading this scorn as a living archive, copying important information to his mind for safekeeping. Troubling. Your mission's success draws attention.
Let them come.
The great Clovis Bray, finally risen from your frozen tomb. To what do we owe the presence of this revenant?
He means to help us restore the war mind, so that we may wield its knowledge against witnesses.
We need him to save Rasputin's life.
Charmed, I'm sure.
Both such noble endeavors for a man as vile as he. I am not convinced, and I hope neither are you.